I feel like I've spent this entire vacation walking.
This is what tourism looks like during the coronavirus pandemic.
It's very busy. Most rows quite full. That's the biggest crowd I've been in since lockdown began. I am lost and I am hot.
As countries reopen their borders again after lockdowns, I wanted to see if it was possible to travel safely.
This is actually a really lovely way to get around the city.
So with my editor's permission, I took a short trip from London to Barcelona.
But getting here while feeling safe and relaxed wasn't as easy as it used to be.
Here's what I learned. First off, I want to know if travelling's a good idea at all. So I called Lena Sirik, an environmental microbiologist. Lena, do you think it's safe to travel right now?
It is safe to travel. It is a risk, but I think if you're wise and you use a mask well and you keep, washing your hands, I think it should be okay.
Lena's agreed to be my virtual tour guide, helping to ensure that I don't catch or spread the virus while I'm travelling.
I think the measures that have been imposed by various governments have evolved a bit over time. In a way, we've become more aware and we now know better how to deal with this.
Step one is picking somewhere to go, something that I found easy in the past but is now difficult. A great resource is the US State Department's website, which has information on rules for each country. Travelling to Spain for a holiday, for example, is not something you can currently do from the US, but I'm allowed to go from London, as many countries in Europe have loosened restrictions after months of lockdowns. I have to fill out this contact tracing health form before I go. You'll find that some other countries have a similar approach. It's also important to check for specific public health guidelines like mandatory quarantines in any countries you might be travelling through. And packing my suitcase isn't as simple as just sunscreen and sandals.
I would probably have about 10 reusable masks. Definitely stock up on some hand sanitizer. Might be worth taking some surface wipes.
I'm taking two types of masks with me. These homemade cloth masks will be used when I'm outdoors in uncrowded spaces, but these are N95 medical grade masks, and these will be used when I'm in crowded or confined public spaces. My employer has said I have to use this when travelling.
Well, that is not comfortable. Okay, first impressions. It's very clean.
At the airport, baggage drop and security were similarly clean, with plenty of opportunities for me to sanitise my hands. But it's hardly a relaxing experience wandering around an airport where there are huge signs warning you of the virus at every turn.
I'm sat at the gate right now and they've just done an announcement that says the flight is full. So big queues just formed. Everyone just rushed to the gate to board. Now everyone's bunched over there. There was a lot of people rushing to try and get through the gate. It's very busy. Most rows quite full.
That's possibly because while the number of inter-Europe flights has risen some 42% since June, it's still a fraction of how many were flying pre-pandemic. British Airways, who I'm flying with, says it adheres to all guidance from governments and regulators. According to Lena, the air quality in here could be the safest of my entire journey.
From the point of view of air and ventilation, planes really are probably your safest mode of transport. The air quality in there is probably the best that you'd find in any mode of transport, and probably in most indoor spaces. Not only do they add about 50% fresh air, but it's also HEPA filtered, and HEPA filters are basically the gold standard when it comes to air filtration. It's just that you're stuck there for some time with other people.
After my plane lands, I have to pass through Barcelona Airport's COVID control gate.
I had to show them a QR code from the form that I filled out. I didn't have my temperature taken as I went through.
Spain's Ministry of Health says that sometimes people are not aware their temperature is being taken by thermal cameras.
I have never been happier to walk into a hotel room.
At my hotel, there are sanitising stations throughout and a one-way system in place.
I can finally take my mask off for the first time properly in about 3-4 hours. But I can't relax just yet.
Things like bedside tables, maybe it's a good idea to give those a little bit of a wipe. But then things like light switches and handles and remote controls, so just the things that probably won't have been cleaned thoroughly.
Popping a do not disturb sign on the door should mean that nobody else comes in, but you'll have to forgo a turn down. I was also told that breakfast would be served in my room instead of the usual buffet. Sightseeing also involves following a number of rules that vary from place to place.
Even though I'm not in a crowded area, I'm still wearing a mask right now. That's partly for my own safety and for the safety of others. But also it's because if you get caught without a mask on the street in Spain, there's an instant €100 fine.
It's worth checking with local authorities to find out what the rules are at your destination. To stay safe, I decide to walk most of the time.
I think it would be a good idea to avoid going on public transport, really, if you can. On public transport, there's many more people that go through there. I would say there is a bit more risk going on a train because it's less controlled, because the ventilation system isn't as sophisticated as it would be on a plane.
Walking is nice,
but it does take away precious time from my weekend break. I feel like I've spent this entire vacation walking between the things I want to see rather than just enjoying things.
If you go by taxi, I mean, it really depends on the taxi driver to some extent. You know, are they cleaning between people? Do they keep their windows open?
I'm going to do down the window if that's okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Were the passengers that were in there before you, did they wear masks? Were they careful? It's a bit of a gamble.
I used a taxi to get from the airport to the hotel, but for long journeys in the city, I choose to hire a bike and just carefully wipe down the handlebars with sanitizer.
This is actually a really lovely way to get around the city. I feel clean, I feel safe, I've got fresh air, and I'm actually making quite a bit of progress.
An hour and a half's ride costs me $8. The virus has even impacted how I dine.
For restaurants, we've got 2 alarm bells. Potentially lots of people, potentially an indoor area with quite a few people in it. So if possible and weather permitting, stick to a table outside if you can.
That might be quite easy here, and that's for 2 reasons. Firstly, Spain enjoys a nice climate and dining outside is part of the culture here. But secondly, because the government have decreed that you can open your restaurant if you have a terrace area where people can dine, so people don't have to go indoors.
One venue that was allowed to reopen was a nearby tapas bar owned by Yuri Van Rossi and his partner.
I think it was 3 weeks, only the places with terraces could open. So we were one of the lucky ones.
For bars like Yuri's, even if local residents are going out again, there's a lot riding on getting travellers to come back.
We worked mainly with tourism and some, let's say about 70% with tourism and 30% local people. Barcelona without tourism just doesn't work.
Tourist attractions like the Sagrada Familia Basilica were closed during my stay.
The crux of the problem is that vacations are supposed to be relaxing, and it's kind of hard to relax in the midst of a global pandemic.
The mask wearing, hand sanitising and constant reminders of the virus don't exactly make for a relaxing trip. But for now, some of these measures are just the reality of travelling safely. And most governments and health experts don't expect this to change anytime soon.
It's worth remembering that, for now, it's impossible to completely eliminate the risk of the virus. So if you're not comfortable travelling, it's probably best to stay at home.